Part 53. Super Seminary Angel Binghua. Author, Shifeng Si Wang. Chapter 539. An unnamed planetary system. In addition to one star, there are several desolate planets surrounding it. However, this unnamed planetary system is extremely lively at the moment, attracting the attention of all advanced civilizations in the known universe. Look. Because the main forces of angels and demons are about to meet in this planetary system, after this battle, this planetary system will definitely not be unknown. Black, dark purple, long strips, circles, and even polygons, irregular battleships sailed forward in the universe around a giant battleship with black and purple as the main color and two demon wings. It was Liang I's demon fleet. Among them, the one with two demon wings is Liang Bing's flagship, Demon Number 1. It was originally the Apocalypse. After leaving Marrow Heaven, Liang Bing modified it. While retaining the above Apocalypse computing cloud, many functions such as wormhole computing array, space transfer, silent stealth, and mimic camouflage have been added. The price is that the Devil Number 1 loses almost all of its conventional attack methods, and is replaced by super survivability and auxiliary functions in spatial calculations. Because Liang Bing knew very well that a Skyblade flagship-level warship alone could not resist the Angel's Skyblade fleet, so she found another way to specialize in strengthening the space combat capabilities of the demon civilization she led. Coupled with Liang Bing's understanding of Angel technology and Skyblade battleships, she has the confidence to skip the battle with Angel in space and open the battlefield inside Skyblade, which will definitely catch Angel off guard. When Liang Bing, who was sitting on the throne, was thinking about the future war with angels, Shalan suddenly entered between the thrones and interrupted Liang Bing's thinking. "Sorry to disturb you, Queen." "Huh? What's the matter?" Liang Bing was a little confused in his heart, because he was currently sailing, and logically nothing happened. "Queen, the detection system of Devil Number 1 has found traces of the Skyblade battleship. It is estimated that the other party has also discovered us." When Liang Bing heard this, he immediately stood up from the throne and said, "Quickly, let the fleet disperse." Shalan seemed to have thought of something after hearing this, and immediately raised her hand to contact Yun Lan, who was in charge of commanding the fleet. However, it was a false alarm, because Yun Lan had already ordered the fleet to disperse. At this moment, a dazzling energy ray shot out from the direction of the demon fleet and passed through the demon fleet. And this was like a signal. From then on, red energy rays shot out from the depths of the distant universe, as if they were locked on the demon fleet, and continued to pass through the scattered battleships. During the second wave, a demon warship was unlucky enough to be penetrated by a red ray and turned directly into cosmic dust. Almost all the demon warriors on board were annihilated. Liang Bing checked the situation of the demon fleet through Demon Number 1, and felt a little distressed when she saw the losses. These were all the assets she had accumulated over the past few decades. Just because the range was not as far as the Angels, she lost it to the other party at will, under the bombardment of artillery fire. However, Liang Bing did not let the fleet deter because of this, but just let the fleet spread out further to reduce losses. This decision obviously worked, and soon the ultra-long-range artillery bombardment from Tianren stopped. Binghua, who was checking the battlefield situation on the other side, looked at Liang Bing's dispersed fleet, and regretfully ordered his subordinate Tianren to stop the bombing, because it was no longer necessary, and continuing would only be a waste of energy. However, if the Angels have a numerical advantage, they can jump directly into the dispersed demon fleet and spread flowers on all sides, which will definitely make Liang Bing cry without a place to cry. Unfortunately, although the Angels are powerful enough, their number is too small. If you enter the enemy's position rashly, even if Liang Bing's fleet is successfully divided and annihilated, it is estimated that Angel will suffer huge losses. This is not what Binghua wants to see, So only by being upright can Angel's large army and combat power advantages be used. A few days later, the demon and angel fleets could already see each other facing each other. This distance was considered close for an interstellar war, and an Earth-yellow planet with 3 satellites stood like a dividing line between the two. Square middle. Binghua, Kesha, I didn't expect you two to deal with me personally. You really think highly of me. Above the surface of the Earth-yellow planet, Liang Bing looked at the thousands of angels opposite and said loudly without any fear on his face. His eyes were always fixed on Kesha sitting on a cross-shaped throne in the middle of the front of the angels, and Kesha standing in the air on the side of Ice Flower. Liang Bing, I don't need to tell you. I believe you also know how many angel warriors I have brought here this time. You have no chance of winning. Kesha's ethereal and majestic voice echoed in the entire airspace, and her words were used to suppress the demon with momentum. Whether you have a chance of winning or not is not something you can just talk about, you have to fight to know. But I really feel sorry for the angels who follow you. They have to rush to the battlefield and lose their precious lives for the Kamigawa civilization that has nothing to do with them. I heard that you said at the Melo conference that I was desecrating life and researching dangerous anti-life technologies. I think you are the one who least values the lives of angels. Liang Bing responded immediately and tried to use words to shake Kesha's image in the hearts of the angels, but the effect was not obvious. Binghua did not intervene in the tit-for-tat verbal confrontation between the two sisters Kesha and Liang Bing, but carefully observed the angels and demons behind Liang Bing who had defected from Merlo heaven. The result surprised Binghua, because the high-level angels under Liang Bing were beyond her expectations. There were even several more god-level angels, and there were many demons whose energy intensity could rival those of third-generation angels. Although the army that the angels sent out this time was not the full strength of the angel civilization, it was still the best state of the regular troops. It was less than 50 years since Liang Bing defected from Merlo heaven. How did it develop to the scale it is today? Among them there is definitely something fishy. But now is not the time to explore these things. Today, the two sides are testing each other. They will definitely not be limited to words. They will definitely get serious after a while. Sure enough, in the face of Liang Bing's constant provocations and divisive remarks, Kesha lost her temper and directly ended the topic. After all, no one of us can convince anyone. Let's just go to the sword and see Zhenjiang. Kesha directly ordered, Ruoxi, go teach the devils a lesson and let them understand the power of angels. Behind Kesha, a female angel wearing a helmet whose face was mostly covered by a visor nodded, flew out of the angel array and came to the center of the array of demons and angels, and directly spoke provocatively in the direction of the demon. Who dares to come out and fight me? Super Seminary Angel Binghua. Author, Shifeng Si Wang. Chapter 540. Liang Bing snorted, this little girl is quite crazy. Then Liang Bing directly ordered, Mingtai, go out and let the angels know how powerful you are, but don't embarrass this queen. Understood? My queen. Behind Liang Bing, a tall demon nearly 2 meters tall showed a ferocious smile and flapped his wings to quickly fly towards Yun 11. The next moment, the devil and the angel were fighting fiercely, and the weapons of both sides clashed, emitting dazzling sparks and energy aftermath. The reason why Kesha sent a high-level angel to provoke was entirely because she wanted to collect the demon's battle data for analysis before a large-scale battle. Secretly, Binghua had already ordered the angel warriors around him. Be prepared to attack with the entire army at any time and leave Liang Bing here. If you can win the battle, there will be no need to be so troublesome later. The battle between the angel Yungzi and the demon Mingtai lasted for tens of seconds. The two sides fought for dozens of rounds before the winner was determined. Yungzi relied on energy jet technology to greatly increase his flight speed in an instant. Mingtai did not react, and was cut in half by Yun 11 who rushed over. Then he received a flaming slash and was reduced to ashes. This made Liang Bing's face as black as the bottom of a pot, and the other demons around him shouted that they wanted to fight, but Liang Bing stopped him. "How's it going? The demons under your command are indeed just useless things. They have grown so big in vain. They can't even defeat a little angel under my command. I don't know where you get the confidence to stand in front of me." Liang Bing's cheek twitched slightly, out of anger. After secretly saying something unsatisfactory, he snorted and pointed at Kesha with 2 fingers. "Don't think that if you win one battle, you can continue to win the next one." Seeing that Liang Bing was still chattering away, Kesha didn't want to continue talking nonsense with her sister. Now she just had the advantages in strength and morale from the victory just now. If she didn't fight, wouldn't she have wasted such a good opportunity? "Okay, stop talking nonsense, the whole army will attack and annihilate them all." Kesha interrupted Liang Bing's words and gave orders directly to the angels around her. The next moment, the thousands of angel warriors who were floating quietly behind Kesha at the same moment flapped their wings and flew forward, rushing towards the devil like bullets fired out. Liang Bing was shocked by Kesha's reckless behavior and quickly ordered the demons to attack. In the blink of an eye, angels and demons collided together and started an epic battle. In the battlefield where angels and demons clashed, the angel warriors waved the flaming swords with red blades in their hands one after another, cutting the demons rushing in the way into several pieces, and purple blood spilled in the air. But soon several demons holding black sharp knives continued to surround him and attack the brave angel warrior at the same time. The surrounded angel warrior quickly looked around and found no companions. At some point, she was separated from the team by the demon, but she was not afraid at all and calmly said in the team communication, "This is Angel Han Ning. I have been surrounded and cannot escape. I am asking for support and directions." There was no time to continue, because the demons were already attacking. The angel named Han Ning raised his body to avoid the charging demons, and then turned around and kicked to sweep them away. Then he reacted quickly and turned around with the flaming sword in his hand and slashed horizontally. A demon who rushed nearby was cut into 2 parts from the chest. And because Han Ning had to make these moves, he was inevitably chopped on the back by other demons with weapons. However, the weapons in the hands of the demons were not as sophisticated as those of the angels, and they only caused a shallow wound. The injured Han Ning did not immediately turn around to fight back, but flew forward for more than 10 meters. Then he turned around suddenly, raised his body between the flames, and bowed in mid-air, like a fully drawn bowstring, and then the whole body rushed forward, like a shooting crossbow arrow, piercing the chest of one of the demons chasing her. Then Han Ning relied on her flying speed and physical strength, which were stronger than those of the demons, to easily kill the demons chasing behind her one by one. Only then did Han Ning have time to reply to her captain's concerned inquiry. "It's okay, Captain, these demons are weaker than expected. I have dealt with them myself." "That's good, return to the team immediately." Han Ning responded and quickly flew in one direction to join her other teammates. This scene is played out in many areas. As soon as demons come into contact with angels, they are harvested like wheat. Often, several demons will besiege an angel and be killed. Liang Bing saw this scene and expected it in his heart, but he still felt that compared to the angels, the demons were really not enough. This was not just the difference in physical strength and weapons. The biggest gap is that the demons are extremely lacking in combat experience, especially in air combat. They are often tricked by angel warriors relying on their rich combat experience. But Liang Bing has nothing to do about it. The demons are all transformed from some civilizations that believe in demons. Their composition is very complex. Even the demons who were warriors before reincarnation are only good at ground combat, and they are still too powerful in the air. Tender. If the demons want to improve their combat capabilities, they can only fight with the angels. Those who survive will be qualified demon warriors who can fight against the angels, and Liang Bing happens to have this courage. Just when the demon was suppressed by the angel and was about to be defeated, Yun Lan, who had been standing quietly behind Liang Bing, stepped forward slightly and asked for instructions. Queen, the devil is about to be defeated. If we don't come forward, we will lose. Damn it, forget it. The devil can't count on you now. We can only rely on you. You go up and fight with the devil to block the angel's attack rhythm. Devil number 1 will always provide you with support. Liang Bing gave some orders a little irritably, and finally faced Yun Lan and Shalan and added, "Be careful, don't die." "Thank you, Queen, for your concern." Yun Lan and Shalan showed a smile on their faces, then looked at the angel side and regained their composure, and ordered to their subordinates. "Let's go, target angels, repel them." Suddenly a group of black dots rose up to control. It was a fallen angel. The look he looked at his former compatriots was very complicated, but there was no hesitation in it, because they knew that they were on the battlefield now, and there was no room for reconciliation. Fighting is the only option. After Binghua discovered that the angels under Liang Bing were participating in the battle, he turned his face slightly and said to Kesha, "Queen Kesha, Liang Bing has put his angel legion into the battlefield. I think it's time for the high-level angel legion to close the net." Kesha nodded and her eyes were a little complicated, because the scene she least wanted to see would happen next, which was cannibalism among female angels. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Super Seminary Angel Binghua. Author, Shifen Si Wang. Chapter 541. Binghua looked at Kesha's appearance and knew what she was thinking. In fact, Binghua didn't want to see this scene, but as a military commander, she was quite qualified and had a heart of stone. Otherwise, she would not be able to think of a plan to surround and kill the fallen angels under Liang Bing's command. You must know that her goal is to destroy the elite fallen angels on the battlefield in one fell swoop. It was foreseeable how many angels would fall, but Binghua had no intention of going back on this because she knew it was unavoidable. Just when the fallen angels joined the battlefield, hundreds of angels who were originally motionless around Kesha suddenly moved. Their speed was extremely fast, like streams of light, and they crossed the central battlefield directly to meet more than 2,000 angels. Fallen angel. Yun Ian's figure disappeared in a flash, dodging the handmade weapons of the two high-level angels. The next moment, Yun Lan appeared beside the two high-level angels who attacked her, with the silver thin sword in her hand lingering in the air. The next ray of cold light struck the white neck of the angel closest to her. There was a flash of blood. The high-level angel's rich combat experience saved her life. At the critical moment, she turned her body sideways and avoided being beheaded by Yun Ian's sword. However, there was a wound on her neck. She quickly holding his neck, he quickly backed away. Seeing this, another high-level angel quickly stepped forward to cover the retreat of his companions, but Yun Lan also had good combat experience. He knew that when facing a siege, he had to pick the weak ones first, so his figure flickered and disappeared again, and then appeared again. He had already arrived in front of the high-ranking angel who was covering his neck. But at this moment, a burst of dazzling lightning fell from Yun Ian's head. Feeling the terrifying energy intensity above, Yun Lan chose to avoid the sharp edge temporarily. Almost at the moment Yun Lan disappeared, a silver épée wrapped with thunder and lightning landed in the area where she was just now. "You cover these sisters and leave first, leaving her to me to deal with." Ran ordered to the high-ranking angel not far away, then looked around, and directly spoke provocatively. "Why, does the famous former commander of the Detective Angel Corps only dare to bully those little sisters, but doesn't dare to come out and fight me? You alone can't stop me. I can go elsewhere and kill your sisters at any time, but you can't do anything to me." Facing Angel Rant's provocative words, Yun Ian's figure slowly floated out of the wormhole, his face was very cold, and his voice was emotionless. That's not necessarily true. I think I'm pretty strong. Maybe you'll fall before you go find my sisters. Ranvinian did not show any worried expression. He swung the silver flaming sword in his hand, and several arcs of energy traveled around the sword. His tone was very relaxed. Seeing this, Yunlan narrowed her eyes slightly and raised the silver rapier in her hand. Driven by the weapon engine, a layer of energy appeared on the surface of the sword, as if a shell was added to the sword. The next moment, Yunlan disappeared and appeared above Ran's head. The thin sword in his hand turned into a sharp light that penetrated the void and stabbed down. Ran slightly dodged to avoid the falling light, and raised the sword in his hand to slash. Yunlan followed suit and changed his move from stabbing to slashing. The next moment, two angel cutting-edge weapons collided, instantly exploding a wave of energy rushing in. Yunlan had no idea of competing with Ran in terms of energy driving skills and disappeared directly. When Yunlan reappeared, she was already behind Ran. The rapier in her hand stabbed Ran's lower back covertly, trying to restrict Ran's ability to move. Ran found that he couldn't keep up with Yun-Ian's space jump. If he continued like this, Yunlan would only find an opportunity to kill him with one strike. So he felt fierce in his heart and did not hide at all. The silver flame sword in his hand burst out with dazzling thunder. The sky around time seemed to be darkened by lightning. Phew! Ran's abdomen was penetrated by the thin sword, and even his spine was damaged. Before Yunlan could draw the sword and leave, Ran grabbed Yun-Ian's arm holding the sword, and then a flaming sword bursting with dazzling thunder fell on Yunlan. On the body. The next moment, a ball of dazzling lightning exploded, and the flying thunder snakes enveloped Yunlan and hit the ground, making a muffled roar. Because of the density of the battlefield, when this ball of lightning fell, it affected a fallen angel and two demons. The fallen angel was seriously injured and almost lost the ability to fight due to the huge energy of thunder and lightning. The two unlucky demons were directly chopped into charcoal. If their bodies weren't so strong, their bodies would have been turned into ashes. Ran waved a bolt of lightning, and several demons who came close to take advantage of it immediately enjoyed a free lightning bath and fell to the ground covered in black smoke. After doing all this, Ran immediately pulled out the thin sword that penetrated his abdomen, and the wound stuck together and began to heal quickly. In the short time it took for the wound to heal, Ran started to solve the weapon in his hand, and soon succeeded. Now even if Yunlan takes the weapon back, it will not be able to exert its original power unless she solves it again and obtains it. Permissions. But the next moment, K ran directly through the rapier in his hand into the air, directly overloading and destroying its weapon engine. Now the sword has no other function except being slightly sharper. 200 meters away from Ran, Yunlan, who was sitting in a large black pit on the ground, looked at the scene and felt angry in her heart. After all, she had used the sword for thousands of years, and now it was destroyed by Ran. Afterwards, under Ran's surprised gaze, Yunlan directly carried out a flaming sword, and Yun-Ian's injuries from Ran's sword had almost recovered. Of course, this is just the surface. The sword struck just now is not light. It can cut a space battleship in half. The real situation is that Yun-Ian's body has been damaged to a certain extent, and his energy and body output will be slightly affected. This is the normal state of battle for god-level warriors. At the level of Ran and Yunlan, unless you find an opportunity to kill with a single blow using a special virus weapon that can destroy the god's body, you can only fight slowly until a certain party's body is destroyed. The damage was too great and the divine body collapsed on its own. However, it is a pity that neither Ran nor Yunlan are the kind of angels who can program the divine body collapse virus on the spot. They can only use the conventional virus attached to the weapon that can suppress the super gene to weaken the opponent's divine body power. The battle between Ran and Yunlan reached a stalemate, and the battlefields of several other god-level angels were similar. Angel Ming faced off against Shalan. Compared with Ran's hand-to-hand fight where it was either you or me, he was proficient in flame bombing. The battle between Ming and Shalan was much more spectacular. The red energy erupted like it was worthless, sometimes washing like a waterfall, and flattening hills like a sharp blade, bombarding the surrounding surface with holes. If Shalan hadn't relied on his third-generation micro-wormhole combat skills to be quite good, he might have been overwhelmed by the constant bombardment of mutant flames from Mina. Super Seminary Angel Binghua. Author, Shifen Si Wang. Chapter 542. The battlefield has become extremely fierce since fallen angels and high-level god-level angels joined the battlefield, as if the level has risen by more than one level. Compared with the hand-to-hand competition between elite angel warriors and ordinary demons with a small amount of dark energy bombarding each other, the battle between high-level angels is like a battle between space battleships. The flaming slash can be struck with just one sword, and is sometimes mixed with flaming bombardment. At first, many demons and ordinary angel warriors were affected, and in the end, ordinary angels and demons subconsciously avoided the battlefield of high-level angels. After Binghua took a look at the battlefield and analyzed the situation, he felt something was wrong. The high-level combat power and god-level angels under Liang Bing's command actually exceeded the calculations made by the Merlot celestial computer. The fight between Ran and Yunlan was fierce, and the thunder kept flashing in the sky, as if there was a storm. The flying sand and rocks covered an area of more than 10 kilometers in radius, and the middle was obscured by dark clouds, with thick lightnings in it. Wonder. The same was true for Ming, who was held back by Shalan. Although Ming relied on his own powerful energy attack methods to suppress Shalan and gain the upper hand, Shalan's spatial algorithm technology was not weak either. He kept moving around to dodge, obviously delaying time. Ziluo, another newly promoted god-level angel, surprised Binghua slightly because his fighting style was very fierce and full of his own unique style, which was incompatible with the fighting styles of other angels in Merlot heaven. I saw that Ziluo's fists were silvery, like thin gloves made of metal. He could grasp the flaming sword chopped by the enemy god-level angel with his bare hands, and then punched the opponent to death. Back away. And Ziluo immediately bullied him, with a combination of punches that was unforgiving. It didn't give the opponent any time to activate the algorithm and drive energy. The opponent could only defend with horizontal swords. He clearly had the absolute upper hand, and victory was only a matter of time. That's all. Hizui is fighting two powerful demons. According to Binghua's observation, the physical strength of the two demons holding black halberds is comparable to that of god-level angels. However, due to lack of combat experience, Hizui may end the fight even if he pursues them. The remaining god-level angel named Nishang is also not weak in strength. He is fighting fiercely with a god-level fallen angel. I don't know when the winner will be determined. Seeing that there are two angels behind Liang Bing who have not entered the battlefield, it should be to deal with Elan and herself who have not yet entered the battlefield. As for Kesha, she probably wants to deal with them personally. But it's a pity that Liang Bing didn't have this chance. The frequency of wing flapping behind Binghua changed, and the figure on Kesha's left side moved forward. Are you going to play? Kesha was watching the battlefield, but she was still aware of the surrounding situation. She saw Binghua making some moves, so she asked this question. The battlefield has become tense. I'm going to break the deadlock. Besides you, Queen Kesha, I am the only one who has the ability to capture Liang Bing. As Binghua spoke, he raised his seven-killing sword upright in front of him, and traces of blue thunder light wandered around the sword. Sorry to trouble you, please end this farce as soon as possible. Kesha sighed slightly and stopped talking after saying this. Elan, who was acting as a guard at the side, wanted to say something, but looked at Queen Kesha who closed her eyes silently and the holy left wing who was preparing to attack. Finally he shut his mouth. Damn, There are so many god-level angels under Binghua's command. It's a bit of a miscalculation, but we can still stop them. Devil number 1, how is your analysis going? Inside the bridge of the demon number 1, a row of fallen angels were sitting in front of the transport platform. Their fingers kept sliding and clicking on the projection light screen, using the powerful computing power of the demon number 1 to analyze the space medium of this planetary system and the spatial coordinates they needed. Used for wormhole operations. Queen, you are still analyzing. You know the defensive capabilities of Skyblade. Even if we understand its detailed structure and principles, it is not that simple to invade. The scientific research angel in charge of this aspect answered with a tone full of helplessness. Then hurry up. I won't be able to hold on to your queen for long, and Kesha won't give me that much time. After Liang Bing finished speaking, he hung up the communication, then continued to look at the battlefield, and at the same time directed the fallen angels and demons to launch a large-scale offensive. Although the demons were ineffective, the fallen angel army was still very capable and could barely withstand the attack of Kesha's angels. However, the losses were a bit heavy, which made Liang Bing very distressed. The main reason was the disparity in the number of high-level angels between the two sides. After all, Liang Bing cannot raise a high-level angel battle group, and she is not that strong. The newly promoted several god-level fallen angels and 2 demons under her command are still resources for others to support, otherwise she will not confront Kesha head-on. At this moment, a swift figure was wrapped in lightning and crossed the battlefield in the blink of an eye, heading straight for Liang Bing's position. Its speed was so fast that even Liang Bing did not react in time, but her guards were always vigilant. People around him quickly stepped forward to block Liang Bing. The thunder light directly hit the swords of the 2 god-level angel guards without slowing down at all, and then exploded with a bang. The scattered lightning flashes disappeared and appeared in mid-air, which was really beautiful. Binghua's royal sword blocked the 2 flaming swords that activated dark energy and looked relaxed, while the 2 god-level fallen angels who attacked her were indeed solemn. Liang Bing, I wonder if you would like to have a private chat with my former sister. Through the red glow of energy escaping in front of him, Binghua greeted Liang Bing with a friendly tone without any hostility. But Liang Bing clearly heard the alienation in the words former sisters in this sentence, but she didn't care. She had already been mentally prepared for this. Now, sister, I don't have time to chat with you, Sister Binghua. Binghua's expression did not change when she heard this, and she just uttered 2 words, really? With a movement of her sword-holding wrist, she directly shook away the flaming sword that was in contact with her royal sword, and then swung it horizontally and vertically. A cross-shaped thin sword energy formed directly in front of the body, cutting towards the 2 guarding fallen angels who were blocking it. Because their queen was behind them, they could not avoid it and could only carry it with force. Binghua skillfully raised his hand, and dozens of dark energy lightnings entangled together to form a torrent of energy that directly knocked away one of the fallen angels who was blocking him. The other fallen angel was hit by the sudden explosion of cross-sword energy. It blew up. Liang Bing, who was taking command, did not expect that her 2 bodyguards, the fallen angels, would be defeated so quickly. She was still handing over the command and only had time to carry out her own weapon, a silver-thin sword of the same style as Yun Ian's hand. The next moment, he was knocked away by the ice flower that was covered in thunder and light, aiming straight at the surface of the planet like a falling meteorite. Super Seminary Angel Binghua. Author, Shifeng Si Wang. Chapter 543. Boom. Mud, rocks, and dust were raised high, like a high explosive bomb exploding, but this was not the end. Countless amounts of soil continued to fly until a 100-meter ravine was plowed. Liang Bing's image at the moment could not be said to be good. His whole body sank into the mud, and he supported the sword and struggled to block the heavy pressure coming from King Haihua's sword. I didn't expect that, Sister Binghua, you would have such a bad temper after not seeing each other for a while. Liang Bing's voice was a bit intermittent, and he still had that faint smile on his face, but Binghua, on the contrary, looked calm, which made the smile on Liang Bing's face gradually disappear. Creak. Creak. Liang Bing suddenly felt the pressure double, and his body pressed against the soil sank. This forced him to face the fact that his divine body was not as strong as Binghua. Seeing that Liang Bing was being oppressed by him and unable to resist, Binghua let go of one of the hands holding the sword and grabbed Liang Bing's shoulder, but missed. Haha, Binghua, you are so naive, you think I will stupidly compete with you. Liang Bing appeared above Binghua, stabbing his back mercilessly with the rapier in his hand. But before Liang Bing could succeed, he noticed countless small flying objects rushing towards him from behind. He ignored the attack and quickly retreated into a micro wormhole. Innocent, this is not a word that can describe me. Besides, rather than running away, you should just let me go and be captured. This way you will suffer less. Binghua slowly straightened up, and the small silver metal blades that were floating around like feathers were the silver feathers that Binghua had not used for a long time. Liang Bing's pupils shrank when he saw Yin Yu. Because Binghua hadn't used this weapon for a long time, Liang Bing had even forgotten about this weapon, which was as dangerous as Kesha's silver wings. You don't have to go to this point, right? Binghua. Liang Bing laughed dryly, and his tone lost the calmness before, and his expression became serious, because facing Yin Yu, if he was not careful, he would end up with his hands and feet broken. Then when you lied to me, why didn't you think more about the consequences? Binghua replied calmly, and at the same time, the hundreds of silver feathers originally wandering around turned into several silver storms and cut towards Liang Bing. Seeing this, Liang Bing had no intention of blocking, and flapped his wings to fly high into the sky. However, before he could fly far, he felt his body sink and his speed dropped a bit. When he lowered his head, he saw Binghua holding up his king's sword. The sword was pointed at her. Liang Bing cursed, and her senses found that the gravity around her had changed. An invisible gravitational wave caught her and dragged her body downwards. As a last resort, Liang Bing could only use his most proud ability to shuttle through micro wormholes to leave the area covered by abnormal gravitational waves, and the silver feathers that followed. Binghua below saw this and put down the Wang sword with a section of the sword's inscription lighting up. She secretly sighed that Liang Bing's micro wormhole combat method was actually a combat weapon. Many of the weapons in her arsenal were not good at dealing with this kind of enemy. However, Liang Bing's flaw is also obvious, that is, his frontal combat effectiveness is obviously not as good as his own. Binghua was about to chase after him when two figures stopped him in front of him. They were the two fallen angels who had been knocked away and blown away before. Is it worth it, risking your life for Liang Bing? Binghua did not immediately chase Liang Bing, but asked aloud. The two guardian angels glanced at each other, and then answered in unison. For the Queen, we are not afraid of death. Death is not a good thing, don't talk about it easily. You must have been female angels belonging to Merlot Heaven before, right? Why did you betray Merlot Heaven? We female angels finally survived that dark time, gained the right to decide our own destiny, and became one of the most powerful civilizations in the known universe. Why do you want to give up these honors and come here to become fallen angels? Is it just for the so-called freedom? Binghua asked a series of questions, with a hint of confusion in them, hoping to get an answer from the two guardian angels. But the guardian angel's subsequent return made Binghua feel sad and confused. Holy Left Wing, we don't care about what you said, although I am also happy that the sisters will no longer be bullied by male angels. But our lives were saved by the Queen, and we have sworn allegiance to the Queen forever. So as long as the Queen gives the order, we can do anything, even if we are enemies of our former sisters. The two guardian angels sounded respectful, but they did not waver in their current position. Then what's the point of this war? Seeing that the two guardian angels had made up their minds, Binghua also raised his sword with a low voice. He didn't know whether he was asking about himself or the guardian angels. The two guarding angels were silent. The dazzling flaming swords burst out from their clasped hands, showing no intention of giving in. Binghua stopped speaking, because when words could not reach a consensus, only his fists were left. Lightning flashed around him, and the ground around him was split into scorch marks, indicating the high energy intensity of the thunder at this time. Then Binghua came directly in front of one of them at a speed that the guardian angels could not react, and suddenly slashed down the king's sword surrounded by countless thunder in his hand. Boom! The lightning and red energy exploded together. Because Binghua was attacking with all his strength, the flaming sword in the guarding angel's hand could not withstand the strong energy collision at this moment, and the sword exploded into pieces. Binghua turned sideways to avoid the attack of another fallen angel guard. The king's sword in his hand, with most of the thunder dissipated, made an arc. The fallen angel guard lost his weapon and then kicked him in the abdomen. To the ground. After dealing with one fallen angel guard, Binghua turned his attention to the other fallen angel guard, fanned his wings behind his back and rushed over with the king's sword in hand. After fighting with two swords, Binghua found the flaw of the fallen angel, and penetrated his chest and abdomen with a sword from bottom to top. The fallen angel guard still wanted to resist, but Binghua had no choice but to activate the anti-god body inside the king's sword. God-killing function. The real battlefield is so cruel. With Binghua's absolute advantage in all aspects, a god-level angel cannot make two moves before Binghua finds a flaw and is easily defeated. As for why they don't use flame bombing or sky blade judgment at a distance, it's because they can't have this opportunity. In the same level of battle, they can easily be defeated by their opponents using flame bombing, let alone facing the stronger holy left wing. Binghua looked at the fallen angel guard falling to the ground. After sighing, he turned around and rushed towards the place where Liang Bing left before. Has the solution to the sky blade been completed? Your queen is being hunted. If it hasn't been completed yet, your queen will be handed over here. Liang Bing shouted loudly in the communication channel, unaware that the two loyal fallen angel guards who covered her departure had fallen. After a moment of silence in the communication, a sentence came. The queen has completed the calculation and can deploy troops at any time. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Super Seminary Angel Binghua. Author, Shifeng Si Wang. Chapter 544. Okay, let's start the battle plan, hit me hard. After Liang Bing finished speaking, she hung up the communication and turned to look behind her. Her originally enthusiastic mood was like a bucket of cold water poured on her because her two fallen angel escorts were offline. Binghua. Liang Bing shouted angrily, turned around and rushed towards the direction he came from before, just in time to meet Binghua who was chasing after him. Ignoring Liang Bing's angry shouts, Binghua raised his sword and swung it, as if cutting through the void. Surging blue thunder swept forward like a wave. His sight was occupied by the leaping thunder. Instead of avoiding it as before, Liang Bing carried out his lightning halberd. The next moment, all the lightning began to rush towards the black lightning halberd in Liang Bing's hand. Binghua reacted, secretly making a mistake and forgetting that Liang Bing had a lightning halberd, but she also had a way to deal with it. Wang Jian changed hands, and the space with her right hand spread out, causing ripples. Liang Bing thrust the lightning halberd filled with thunder in the direction of Binghua, and a raging torrent of lightning swept out. But the next moment was like the scene of Liang Bing using the lightning halberd reappearing before. The torrent of lightning that swept out was attracted by the dark halberd in Binghua's hand. Binghua did not release the lightning accumulated in the lightning halberd like Liang Bing did. Instead, he directly held the halberd and rushed to Liang Bing at the fastest speed. He stabbed him in the abdomen with the halberd as he cursed. The next moment, lightning shot out, and the entire sky was occupied by wandering thunder. The cold ice covered in lightning quickly fell to the ground in the distance. Binghua was chasing after him, and with a wave of his hand, silver-pointed chains shot out, making a clattering sound, and wrapped around Liang Bing, but they were blocked by the black chains that suddenly sprang out. Binghua frowned slightly when she saw this. The good opportunity was actually ruined. The Shu Shensuo was now tightly entangled with Liang Bing's Su Yinsuo. The two were entangled with each other and could not be separated in a short time. Liang Bing rearranged his posture under the cover of Su Yinsuo, glanced around, and secretly cursed Binghua in his heart for being shameless and actually using her weapon against her. Devil number 1, give me some computing power. You continue to execute the plan and attack the Skyblade fleet with all your strength. I can't. Kesha and Binghua are not in a hurry. After Liang Bing finished speaking, a flash of data flashed in his eyes, and the connection to demon number 1 had been completed. All the surrounding data quickly flashed in his mind, and micro-wormhole calculations became extremely simple. Seeing Liang Bing just standing motionless in the void, Binghua did not rush over in a hurry. The sword in his hand glowed with red energy, and the sacred inscriptions lit up. The flame-bombing formula has been imported. As Binghua waved the king's sword in his hand one after another, several magnificent sword energy nearly 10 meters long cut through the sky and rushed toward Liang Bing at high speed, but Liang Bing's figure flickered a few times and easily dodged it. At the same time, Binghua suddenly felt an extremely powerful force of confinement acting on herself. For a moment, she was unable to move. The next moment, Binghua's dark eyes glowed with white light, and she immediately understood what was imprisoning her. Space confinement is an advanced application of space technology. There are only a few angels in the entire Merlot heaven who can be used in battles. Liang Bing is one of the best. Unfortunately, Binghua also knows about it. Principle. In fact, space confinement looks very powerful, but its essence is just a way of applying energy. In addition to technical means, the easiest way to crack it is to violently disrupt the surrounding space medium that has become stationary. I saw red energy glowing on Binghua, who was imprisoned in space. As this energy expanded, the surrounding space medium was immediately washed away, and Binghua regained his freedom. Liang Bing happened to appear next to Binghua at this moment, stabbing out his heart with the thin sword in his hand. Binghua, who was free, slapped Liang Bing aside with his palm, and whipped Liang Bing away with a backhand sword. The flying Liang Bing disappeared directly and reappeared in the blind spot of Binghua's line of sight to attack, but it was all in vain. Vision was not the main means of observation for God-level angels. Their perception range could often capture several kilometers around them, and even movement on a larger scale. Although Liang Bing subconsciously blocked the spread of information during her actions, Binghua could still perceive the vague information reflection, so it was easy for her, a melee master, to defend herself against Liang Bing's attacks. Just as the fight between Binghua and Liang Bing was in full swing, and Kesha commanded the high-level angel battle group and the elite angel legion to encircle and suppress the fallen angels and demons, the demon fleet in the planet system moved. The surface of Demon 1's demon wings lit up with criss-crossing energy circuits, and then this energy was guided by the demon wings and released toward the front of the demon fleet. Space began to collapse inward, forming a giant space wormhole. At the same time, in the middle of the Skyblade fleet, the space suddenly twisted and fractured. Then a space wormhole quickly expanded from a small point at the beginning to a size larger than 2 Skyblades. It adds up to a huge amount. Because of the sudden appearance of the space wormhole, the formation of the Skyblade fleet was inevitably disrupted. At this critical moment, a large number of demon warships suddenly emerged from the space wormhole. They were like sharks smelling the smell of blood apes, and pounced on them. to the surrounding sky blades. But soon the angel's most powerful military creation, the celestial battleship, made the devil understand what despair was. The unshakable space-time deflection shield made all the attacks of the demon battleship useless. As for Skyblade's counterattack, the dense spear-like rays could easily penetrate the demon warship and turn it into cosmic dust. The demon battleship, which originally pounced on Skyblade fiercely like a shark, became chaotic for a while. Faced with the surging artillery fire from the Skyblade, the demon battleship had to release the demons inside the ship to reduce the loss of combatants caused by the explosion of the battleship. At this moment, the captains of the Skyblades discovered the fighter planes. In order to expand the results, they promptly ordered the angel legions carried by the Skyblades to attack the demon fleet. For a time, densely packed angel warriors poured out from inside the heavenly blade, forming small teams. The small groups formed large groups, and under the cover of heavenly blade's artillery fire, they rushed into the demon fleet and killed them randomly. Facing the ferocious angels, the demons fled in all directions and were completely defeated. They were unable to form effective resistance. Even the battleships were easily destroyed by the angels without taking cover. Inside Demon Number 1, densely packed demon warriors and some fallen angels gathered in a hall, numbering at least 50,000. These are the elites of demons, equipped with cutting-edge weapons, and are a rare force reserved by Liang Bing. At this moment, in front of these demons and fallen angels, there was a fallen angel with a significantly higher status who was speaking. "We are the Queen's hope for victory, and we will break into the angel's celestial battleship soon. Remember that our task is not to kill many angels, nor to snatch the Skyblade, because we can't do that. Our real mission is to destroy the computing core of Skyblade and paralyze those big guys as much as possible, otherwise our fleet will disappear from the universe as soon as it encounters them." Super Seminary Angel Binghua. Author, Shifeng Si Wang. Chapter 545. Suddenly, several frame doors erected behind the fallen angel who was speaking suddenly lit up, and the space in the middle continued to ripple like water waves. Seeing this, the fallen angel stopped her tirade and shouted directly to the demons and fallen angels present. "The construction of the insect gate has been completed. The time is limited. Everyone, be ready and set off immediately according to the teams assigned in advance." After saying that, the demon didn't wait to respond. He turned around and plunged into an insect gate. The team and the demon led by the fallen angel also rushed in immediately. Then the order from the Demon Number 1 bridge deployment angel sounded in the hall, instructing each team and the demon to enter the corresponding insect gate. The demons and fallen angels present also knew that time was limited and could not delay, so they immediately rushed into the insect gate. At the same time, in the Skyblade fleet that was annihilating the demon fleet, there was a sudden ripple in the corridors inside some Skyblade battleships, and a small wormhole appeared. The next moment, demons kept rushing out of it. As soon as these demons broke out of the wormhole, they rushed towards Tianren's computing core and energy supply system according to the map in their minds, and some went to attack the command center to confuse the audience. "Who are you?" The angel warriors who stayed behind were shocked when they saw the demon invasion. They reported the situation to Tianren's command hall and blocked the demons' attack. However, the troops assembled by Binghua this time were all the elites of the Angel Legion. Faced with the sudden invasion inside, the Skyblade captains did not panic. They extremely calmly ordered the Angel warriors left behind on the ship to rely on the passage inside the Skyblade. Establish blocking points. At the same time, some of the angels who went out to destroy the demon fleet were transferred back for support, so that they could take care of both sides, annihilating the demon fleet and the demons that invaded the Skyblade. Binghua, who was playing hide-and-seek with Liang Bing, received the news sent simultaneously to her and Keisha by her subordinate Captain Tianren. Her expression changed involuntarily. She looked at Liang Bing and said, "I didn't expect you to pay this kind of attention. It's a pity that you have underestimated the combat quality of the Angel Legion after not commanding it for a long time. Liang Bing was startled when he saw Binghua, who had not spoken for a long time, suddenly making a sound. Hearing what Binghua said, he knew in his heart that his plan might have been known to his sister and Binghua, but fortunately, he was no longer hiding it. So what if you find out, the demons under my command have already invaded the Sky Blade, and it is only a matter of time before the Sky Blade is paralyzed. When the time comes, you who have lost the Sky Blade will probably have to pay heavy casualties if you want to fight against my demon fleet. And I have a lot of soldiers who have been transformed into demons, and there are so many angels. Every time one of them dies, you and your sister will probably feel heartbroken to death. If you wait until the end, I will definitely win. In the future, the free world will replace the order of justice and become the largest order in the known universe. Liang Bing's tone was confident, as if he had a winning ticket, and he looked at Binghua with contempt, which made Binghua feel funny, but now was not the occasion to laugh. At this time, on the battlefield of God-level angels, He Chui found an opportunity to activate the hidden function of the broad-blade sword in his hand, destroying the mass-produced lightning halberd in the demon's hand with one blow, and then pursued the victory and killed one of the gods who besieged him in the blink of an eye. The super demon was beheaded on the spot. The remaining god-level demon couldn't make much trouble in front of He Chui, lacking the restraint of his companions. In addition, He Chui was already familiar with his attacking habits. After fighting for a few times, he found an opportunity to destroy his weapon. Kill it easily. The winner was decided by 11 Luo on the other side. She relied on her strong melee skills to capture her opponent with her bare hands, restricting her ability to move, and forcibly beat her opponent's fallen angel body to the point where it could not recover and lost the battle. Ability. In addition, Angel Nishang also defeated her opponent and ended the battle. With the addition of these three powerful god-level angels to the team that was encircling and suppressing demons and fallen angels, the demons and fallen angels under Liang Bing's command were suddenly unable to hold on. The main reason is that god-level angels have a great influence on the local battle situation, and can often easily determine the outcome of small-scale battles. Otherwise, several high-level angels are sent to entangle the god-level angels, and the god-level angels can rush into the pile of demons and start fighting. Unparalleled. Therefore, Liang Bing's men were faced with the problem of lack of high-level combat power. It was only a matter of time before they were divided, surrounded, and finally annihilated. At the same time, as the war progressed, Liang Bing, who had a chance of winning, discovered that the news sent to her by Devil Number 1 was all bad news. Her main force was suppressed and faced the risk of being divided and surrounded. The demon fleet that attacked the Heavenly Blade suffered heavy losses, and even the troops that attacked the interior of the Heavenly Blade were completely defeated. They were blocked inside the Heavenly Blade and faced the fierce attacks from the angels from both front and rear. Binghua saw that Liang Bing's face changed from confident to uncertain, and understood the dilemma Liang Bing was facing now, so he directly tried to persuade him to surrender. Liang Bing has reached this point. You have no chance of winning. Surrender. Queen Kesha will not embarrass you too much because of her sisterhood. Binghua, do you believe what you said? I wanted to leave Merlot Heavenly Court peacefully, but my sister stopped me and imprisoned me. Is there any sister like her? In the end, I chose to use all means to leave Merlot Heaven. During this process, my hands were stained with the blood of many former sisters and kin. Even if you and Kesha can forgive me if I go back, can those angel sisters who fell because of me forgive me? Facing Liang Bing's answer, Binghua was speechless, because in the exchange with Kesha, even if Liang Bing returned to the Merlot Heavenly Court, what would greet her would be tens of thousands of years or life imprisonment, because if she didn't do this, angels will fall apart. The just order promoted by Kesha will also collapse because she takes the lead in bending the law for personal gain, and the good situation of angel civilization will be turned into ashes in an instant. Binghua and Kesha know this, and Liang Bing knows even more, because she knows the weight of justice and order in her sister's heart, so she will not surrender, even if she falls. Seeing Liang Bing's tough attitude and the fact that the battle situation has stabilized, Binghua is no longer prepared to hold back, and plans to take action. Even if she beats Liang Bing to the point of death, she still has to catch her. There were ripples in the void around Binghua. Seeing this, Liang Bing immediately knew that Binghua wanted to project weapons and directly launched a micro-wormhole counterattack, but the result surprised Liang Bing. The next moment, a handful of weapons shot out with terrifying kinetic energy, stirring the air and making bursts of explosions. Liang Bing could only dodge in the face of the densely ejected weapons. What's going on? Why can't I close the wide area micro-wormhole you opened? Binghua answered while carrying out the Titan's hand armor and covering it on his left arm. Your micro-wormhole is very troublesome and can prevent me from throwing things. Before I set off, I went to He-11, and she indeed came up with an algorithm to counter the interference of your micro-wormhole technology. I took it over, modified it and added it to my micro-wormhole algorithm. Now that the micro-wormhole algorithms you and I use are different, how can you close the door on me? Liang Bing gritted his teeth when he heard this. This guy He-11 could still disgust him even if he wasn't here. Super Seminary Angel Binghua. Author, Shifeng Si Wang. Chapter 546. Applying to connect to Tianjian Computing Cloud, the connection has been successful. Titan's grasp data is being synchronized, energy distribution adjustment is completed. Several pieces of information flashed through Binghua's mind, and a faint glow of energy oozed from the gaps in the Titan's hand armor covering her entire left forearm and left hand, which was extremely beautiful. But Liang Bing didn't feel beautiful at all. Demon number 1 scanned Binghua's energy intensity, which was rising in a straight line, especially the armor on his left hand. Demon No 1's analysis progress was extremely slow, and he didn't know its details at all. Function and information. Why didn't she take out these things when I competed with her last time? As soon as this thought flashed through Liang Bing's mind, she saw Binghua raise her silver-armored left hand towards her position, and suddenly a vast force acted on Liang Bing, squeezing her vagina violently. Body. Binghua's hand equipped with the Titan's grip flicked, and the cold ice in the air quickly fell in one direction. After flying hundreds of meters, it crashed into a steep mountain wall with a loud bang, and countless rubbles fell. Falling downwards. Binghua, who was serious, would not give Liang Bing any chance to resist. With a movement of his figure, he quickly came to the area where Liang Bing smashed into the mountain wall. Following his thoughts, the force field began to tear the cliff below. The sound of cracking rocks kept coming to mind, as if two invisible hands were violently tearing open the cliff, revealing the cold ice buried in it, and then a force field lifted it up. I didn't expect you to be proficient in force field manipulation. You've hidden it well enough, Binghua. After Liang Bing was imprisoned by the force field, she had been trying to break away from the squeezing force acting on her body. Although the strength of her divine body made her not afraid of this pressure, the feeling of being restrained was not very good. I have never hidden it. It's just that you only care about getting involved with Carl from the Super Seminary. You don't even know about the recent changes in Tiancheng. As Binghua spoke, the Wang sword in his right hand separated with a click and turned into 7 parts with different functions. Among them, the main sword was continued to be held by Binghua, and the remaining 6 handleless silver swords turned into cold light and shot towards Liang Bing. Seeing this, Liang Bing's pupils shrank, and instead of hiding that he had the ability to open micro-wormholes, he swallowed her in together with the force field energy that imprisoned her. But as soon as Liang Bing appeared, she saw Binghua raising her sword to strike, and was startled. She didn't know when she came here. Clang! The destiny in Binghua's hand struck Liang Bing's rapier, and the huge force directly pressed it to the surface. Before Liang Bing could counterattack, A blazing energy beam struck from one side and blew it away. Inevitably, Liang Bing was injured. The leather close-fitting combat uniform on his body was broken, and there were traces of high-temperature burns on his cheeks. The blow just now was made by one of the auxiliary swords of the Seven Killing King's sword. It also has built-in algorithms such as flame bombardment, sky blade judgment, and dark energy drive. Liang Bing left the place without caring about repairing her injuries, because she knew how powerful the 7 kills of Wang's sword in Binghua's hand was. It was a composite combination weapon with a total of 7 components, and each part had a different function. Liang Bing doesn't want to be besieged by these 7 Wangjian components with different functions that can cooperate with each other, otherwise it will definitely be very embarrassing. Queen, we have failed. The demon fleet that attacked Skyblade was almost completely wiped out, and only a few of the troops that attacked Skyblade returned. We are no longer able to fight against the Angel Civilization's fleet, so I implore the Queen to issue a retreat order. After Liang Bing, who was fighting with Binghua, received this news, his movements paused. Binghua seized the opportunity and pierced Liang Bing's shoulder with his sword. The virus that suppressed the divine body immediately began to take effect, constantly weakening Liang Bing's divine body's self-healing ability. And at the same time, Liang Bing had to consume precious divine body energy to clear these viruses that specifically suppress the strength of the divine body. If this continues, she will be caught by Binghua sooner or later. Liang Bing knows this very well. The message sent to her by Devil Number 1 from the fallen angel made her finally make up her mind. Binghua, we demons lost this war, but you can't even think of annihilating us completely. Because the free world is the future of the known universe. After Liang Bing finished speaking, he didn't expect a response from Binghua. He directly used the computing power of Demon Number 1 to open an insect gate, retreated in, and completely disappeared in front of Binghua and did not appear again. Binghua felt regretful when she saw this, but she was not too depressed, because this was within the calculation results. According to the calculations of the celestial computer, the chance that she could catch Liang Bing was very small. It can be said that as long as Liang Bing concentrates on escaping, with the help of Demon Number 1, the entire angel civilization will not be able to catch her, because most of the angel's space technology was developed by Liang Bing, so how to deal with the angel's micro-wormhole? Liang Bing definitely has a way to use decapitation tactics. With Liang Bing's sudden departure, the fallen angels and demons who had been struggling to hold on finally couldn't hold on any longer. They fled under the attack of the angels. Finally, when the angels completely divided and surrounded these elites under Liang Bing's command, the insect gate appeared. A large number of fallen angels were swallowed by the insect gate. It was obvious that there was something on the Demon One that the angels could not understand. While flipping through the information in the angel database, Kesha ordered her subordinates. You go and collect the remains of the fallen angels. Elan did it immediately after hearing the words, leaving Kesha alone to continue checking. On the battlefield, Binghua stared at the corpses of fallen angels and angel warriors on the ground, and felt uncomfortable in his heart, because the dead, whether they were fallen angels or angel warriors, were actually angels, which weakened the angelic civilization as a whole. After defeating the main force of the demonic civilization, Binghua immediately implemented his own battle plan. 10 Skyblade warships left the Skyblade fleet and headed to 5 coordinate points. These departing heavenly blades are grouped in pairs, led by god-level angels. They will lead the affiliated civilizations under the angels to attack the free world from 5 directions at the same time, erasing the influence of the devil in this star field. Even though Binghua divided his forces in front of Liang Bing still had no intention of taking the initiative to attack, and Binghua was not in a hurry. This situation continued for several months. Because Binghua decided to march directly into the Demon King's city and force Liang Bing to fight her, otherwise her idea of capturing Liang Bing would not be realized. At the same time, she also wanted to end this war as soon as possible. Because there was news from the Merlot Heavenly Court that there was a small problem at the boundary of the Angel Nebula. The strong one among the male angels unexpectedly arrived at the area that the border guard angels were responsible for, and was currently confronting the border guard angels. Liang Bing on the other side is actually very distressed now because she finds that no matter what she does, she can't change the fact that the demon will be destroyed by the angel. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Super Seminary Angel Binghua. Author, Shifeng Si Wang. Chapter 547. The 6 groups of angel civilizations came out in unison and defeated the demon civilization without any power to fight back. This news disappointed many civilizations in the known universe who were expecting the angel civilization to encounter an accident and thus be defeated by the demons. However, the return of another great enemy of the angel civilization, the former heavenly palace king Huaya, caused the top leaders of various civilizations to turn their attention back to the Angel Nebula. At this moment, the border of the Angel Nebula is densely packed with guarding angels. Under the leadership of each guarding archangel, they are arrayed against tens of thousands of male angels. Because of the male angel matter, Ruaning led 1,000 elite Merlot guards from Merlotien to the Angel Nebula border. Because of Hexy's authorization, he became the commander-in-chief of the angels guarding the border and was responsible for all matters related to the battle with Heavenly Palace King Huaya. Little angels, your king is back. Huaya opened his arms and announced to the angels on the entire battlefield with a smile, but no female angels responded to him, which made him a little embarrassed, but the male angels cheered one after another. You're a fool to come back. Huaya, no angels are expecting you to return now, so just go back to where you came from. Otherwise, your group of angels will be exterminated. Ruaning's tone was not polite at all, and her expression did not show any fear towards Huaya. This was the self-confidence that the female angel had developed over the years of fighting here and there. It was also what the 2 angel kings, Binghua and Kesha, cared about the most. Not only Ruaning, but also the Merlot guards and border angels behind him were the same. Most of them still wanted to completely destroy Huaya and this group of male angels to avoid future troubles. Ouch, Ruaning, I haven't seen you for thousands of years and your tone has become so loud, and now you dare to speak to me like this. I remember that you knelt down in front of me and begged me pitifully in order to ask me to let that stinky bitch Kesha go. Huaya grinned with a malicious smile and told all the angels present about Ruaning's dark past. Ruaning's face became extremely ugly, but the other female angel who was very familiar with Ruaning spoke up. Sister Ning did this to save Queen Kesha. Huaya is different now. You were defeated by Queen Kesha and fled to the edge of the known universe like a lost dog. Now, while Queen Kesha and the Holy Left Wing are on an expedition against the demonic civilization, they are jumping out to provoke the Merlot Heavenly Court. When Queen Kesha is free, she will definitely launch a holy expedition against you. When the heavenly blades come to the border and an army of millions of angels comes in person, you will all be transformed. For fly ash. Huaya didn't show any fear when he heard this. Instead, he said provocatively with a twitching expression on his face. Oh. I'm so scared. It's a pity that your queen can't do it. Now that Liang Bing has defected to Merlot Heaven, one of the 4 kings has died, and you have an additional demonic civilization as your enemy. At the same time, you have to take care of breaking the order of justice. I don't believe that you still have the leisure to go to the edge of the known universe. Give me trouble. The reason why Huaya chose to invade the Angel Nebula when the main force of the angel civilization was not around was just for the Tiangong number, the symbol of his male angel king. Although the Tiangong is just a celestial battleship, it has a special built-in system that can send messages to all online male angel warriors in the angel civilization. In other words, as long as Huaya can retrieve the Tiangong number, he can regroup the male angels scattered throughout the known universe and regain the possibility of competing with the female angels. By then, he and Kesha will be able to fight in one thought. Moreover, Hwaye also knew that he was just a little chicken that could be slaughtered in front of Kesha. As soon as the news that the angels had won the war with the demons came out, he would immediately go back and forth. If you want to fight, then fight. Stop talking nonsense. Ruoning didn't want to listen to Hwaye's nonsense, so he raised his weapon and pointed it at Hwaye. Hwaye also knew that words alone were useless, so he responded to Ruoning in a simple way. He waved his hand and all the male angels behind him immediately dispersed and dived to the array of angels guarding the border. Sisters, form a team to cover each other and fight. The archangel guarding the border loudly issued an order over the communication, and the female angels who were lined up in a neat row immediately dispersed, and every 5 border guarding angels spontaneously formed a small team. Before the two sides came into contact, each team on the female angel side began to calculate a flame bombardment, transmitting energy to each other through the flame sword, and the energy accumulation of the flame bombardment was quickly completed. The next moment, countless blazing energy light groups exploded among the male angels who charged. Countless male angels were killed in the flame bombardment before they could fight with the female angels. I haven't seen you for thousands of years, how come the power of this thing has become stronger? Hwaye pushed aside the energy explosion that swept away, looked at the blackened arm guard, and exclaimed, King, the firepower of the female angel is too strong, and the brothers suffered heavy losses before they even rushed over. I think we should retreat first and let those beasts take the lead and consume the energy of the female angel. What do you think of this idea? Kunpeng approached Hwaye and whispered a suggestion in the communication channel. Hwaye thought it was reasonable. He didn't have many male angels under his command. If too many were lost in the hands of these female angels, how would he be able to maintain himself in the future? His own rule over the fringe galaxies. The whole army obeys the order. The firepower of the female angel is too strong, retreat first. After Hwaye gave the order, he turned around and flew back. The male angels who had rushed in the middle immediately turned around and ran away. The female angels were stunned. Is this the same male angel they regarded as a strong enemy before? Ruoning was overjoyed to see the male angels fleeing and immediately ordered the entire army to pursue them. The female angels had high morale and chased the male angels who were almost twice as many as them and slashed wildly. Just like this, the original battle between the male and female angel armies turned into a pursuit battle between the female angels and the male angels. After running a certain distance, Hwaye found that the female angel was chasing after him, and angrily stopped the army from counter-attacking. However, everyone was concerned about escaping and ignored Hwaye's call intentionally or unintentionally. In the end, the troops that Hwaye organized to fight back were defeated by Ruoning because they were too small in number. Hwaye was afraid that he would be surrounded by female angels, so he stopped organizing his troops to fight back and just ran away. In this way, Ruoning directly defeated Hwaye's main army, which greatly boosted the morale of the angels guarding the border. They all felt that the legendary Hwaye was not that good. Ruoning felt the same way, so she recruited more border guard angels and Merlot guards, and organized a legion of nearly 70,000 border guard angels. Although there were no sky swords accompanying them, there were many sky sword series assaults used for fire support. Battleship. This is all your bad idea, which caused heavy losses to my king's army. If it weren't for the fact that you have been with me for many years, I would have killed you. Hwaye slapped Kunpeng on the head, and then kicked him angrily. Kunpeng didn't dare to reply, covered the head that Hwaye had slapped, and came back to Hwaye's side, explaining in a low voice. King, it's not my fault. Who would have thought that the female angels could be so crazy? They bite like mad dogs and won't let go. Super Seminary Angel Binghua. Author, Shifeng Si Wang. Chapter 548. Hua snorted and waved his hands, not wanting to hear Kunpeng's explanation anymore. He waved his hands and said impatiently, "Go away, go away, go away, I am annoyed when I see you now. By the way, remember to let those beast body civilizations take the lead for us, don't let me forget it." "Yes, yes, I will never forget it, my king." Kunpeng nodded like a chicken pecking at rice, then turned and left. Seeing this, Hua sighed, remembering his former right-hand men, especially the former wise man Chen Xing, General Suri and other angels under his command. If they had been here before, defeating Ruaning would not be a problem at all. "Kesha, one day I will repay you in full for everything you have done to me. When the time comes, I want you to watch the female angel group you love collapse, and you will become my own plaything." Although the male angels were defeated in the previous battle and were chased by the female angels for a month, the male angels who followed Hua were all veterans who had been trained under the pursuit of Kesha's subordinates thousands of years ago. He has the ability to escape, so he looks embarrassed, but in fact the overall loss is not too great. This is also the reason why Hua can still keep calm and organize the next war, otherwise he would have gone home long ago given his character. And in the next war, Hua will never back down like before, otherwise why would he go all the way to Angel Nebula? More than 3 months have passed since the last confrontation between the Ruaning army and the Hua army. The two sides once again lined up to fight, but this time the strength of both sides increased. Especially on Hua's side, in addition to the more than 50,000 male angel legions, there are also more than 200 rough-looking beast-shaped civilized warships, and even several majestic titans. At first Ruaning was still a little wary of those titans, but after careful observation, she found that only one was a young titan, and the rest were juvenile titans. It was considered a team with good combat effectiveness, but in the Angel Legion there is not enough to see in front of you. If you want to pose a threat to the Angel Legion, unless the Titan Lord comes in person, it will not matter how many people come. Hua, you still dare to appear in front of me. I led my sisters to chase you like a lost dog. Now aren't you afraid that I will beat you again until you are as embarrassed as before? Don't worry, I won't kill you when you are caught by me. I will sacrifice you to Queen Kesha, and let the Queen execute you in front of all the angels, completely destroying the remnants of the heavenly palace. Ruaning raised her head slightly and spoke confidently, with a hint of contempt for Hua in her words. "Humph, don't think that you can continue to win just because you were lucky enough to win against me once before. You, who used to be a mere maid, are now talking to me like this. If you fall into my hands, I will definitely want you to look good." Hua's voice lost the cynicism from last time, and with a serious look on his face, he truly looked like an angel king at this moment. "Humph, then let me meet Zhenjiang." Ruaning's expression turned cold after hearing this. After saying this, he immediately ordered an attack on the Angel Legion under his command. The target was directly in front of Hua's main force and a weak point of the attached civilization fleet. The familiar flame bombing was still used to open the way. Although this tactic was simple and straightforward, it was extremely easy to use. Under the attack of the flame bombing, the fleets of the animal civilization exploded into wreckage. But unlike the previous battle with the male angel, the warships of the beast civilization were still huge in number. In order to destroy these behemoths that were hundreds or thousands of meters long, the angel warriors had to adopt the tactics of multiple flame bombing attacks. Some angel warriors broke into the beast-shaped civilized warships and carried out massacres, destroying the main facilities inside the ship and paralyzing its control system, engines, etc. Ruaning, on the other hand, led the Merlot guards and the elite border guarding angels. After piercing the fleet of the beast body civilization, they rushed straight in the direction of Hua. Ruaning's idea was to capture the thief first and capture the king first. He planned to defeat Hua head-on, thereby causing chaos in Hua's army, and then conduct an annihilation battle to eliminate the male angel's effective strength, so that the male angel would probably not come again in the future. Harassment. Huaya has been the king of Tiangong for so long, so he is not really a fool. Although he cherishes his life very much, he still dares to go into battle to kill the enemy at a critical moment. Seeing that Ruaning was targeting him, Huaya took advantage of his plan and asked his angel army to set up layers of defenses, not only to block Ruaning, but at least to weaken his surrounding troops. Ruaning didn't care when she saw the male angel setting up many defenses. She had confidence in herself and her sisters, and this was a hard-won opportunity. If she gave up, she didn't know when she would get the chance to catch Huaya. Sisters, Huaya is right in front. Follow me to break through the enemy formation and capture Huaya alive for Queen Kessa. Following Ruaning's encouragement, the following female angel warriors all responded, for Queen Kesha. As the sharp knife of the team, Ruaning easily broke through the defense line composed of first and second generation male angels, but some of her subordinates stayed behind and continued to fight with them because of the entanglement of the male angels. As the defense lines were penetrated by the elite female angels led by Ruaning, the number of angel warriors around Ruaning was gradually decreasing. When Ruaning came to the front of Huaya, only a few border guarding archangels were still following him. Seeing this, Huaya showed a successful smile on his face, and took the stage in person with his own silver royal sword. Kunpeng and other angel guards used their eyes to lure away the archangel guarding Ruaning, and suddenly Ruaning was the only one left on the battlefield. One-on-one with Huaya. Huaya, you can't run away. Before Ruaning finished speaking, his figure turned into an afterimage and shot at Huaya, who swung his sword to attack, but Huaya accurately blocked it with his sword, and then Huaya used his strength to knock Ruaning away. Firebombing formula import. Ruaning, who was repulsed, directly launched a conventional energy attack, completing the energy gathering in a short time, and then the surging red energy swept toward Huaya. Huaya didn't panic at all when he saw this, and said excitedly, "It's good to come." Then Huaya was seen slashing the Wangjian with silver energy in his hand against the torrent of energy released by Ruaning, and an energy slash cut through the energy and attacked Ruaning. Ruaning was shocked when he saw this. He didn't care about maintaining a stable release of energy. He turned his figure slightly to avoid Huaya's attack. Just as he was about to continue the attack, he saw Huaya using his weapon as a shield. He didn't know when he rushed over and raised his leg. "Kick it!" Ruaning reacted quickly and also raised his legs. Then Ruaning stepped back a distance and looked at Huaya with a solemn expression. "You are far worse than that stinky bitch Binghua. If I give you one hand, I'm afraid you won't be able to beat me." Huaya looked relaxed and even took the time to pick his ears, which made Ruaning feel angry. She didn't know whether it was towards Binghua or Huaya.